Hello, this is Mr. Eggleston. I'm going to go over the practice test for Math 1-2. I hope that you'll have time to see this so that you can look at it and get an idea. You can use a note card for the test. So I gave you guys note cards. Please make sure to use them. Okay, so here we go. So the first question is about graphing. So notice that your graph is blank. You're going to have to insert the axes, which I did right here. Okay. Oh, it's not letting me do that, so I can't highlight it. So when you look at this, this is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is at 1. So I'm going to put a dot right there at the y-intercept of 1. Now, the slope, m, is 2. Remember, 2 is just 2 over 1, which literally means we go up 1, 2, and for whatever reason that's not working, so up 1, 2 to the right, 1. Up 1, 2 to the right, 1. You can even go down 1, 2 to the left, 1. Down 1, 2 to the left, 1. And you see, I'm not using the ruler. I should have used the ruler, but I use the fact that my iPad snaps the line straight. Notice I went through the points. I didn't stop. So really, this should have gone up there. Okay, and there you go. Which of the following was, okay, it says which of the following was an equation of the line through those 2 points? Well, we got to find the equation. So the first thing you got to do is find the slope. The slope is the change in y over the change in x, which is simply negative 5 minus 3 over negative 1 minus 1. That is negative 8 over negative 2, which happens to be 4. We have the slope. Now we just have to choose one of the points. Most students prefer to, use the slope-intercept form, this. Okay, where m is 4, so we have this. And the only thing we don't know is what b is, but we're going to use the ordered pair. I'm going to go ahead and choose 1, 3. So I'm going to put in 3 for y, 1 for x, and we have that. So we have 3 equals 4 plus b. We're solving for b. You get b equals negative 1. So you get y equals 4x minus 1, and that's the equation. Which of the following is an equation of the line through those 2 points? You have to understand this is a multiple choice question, so I probably give you like 3 or 4 choices, and maybe a couple of them will work. Okay, we're going to do 3 now. Yusan must complete 50 hours of community service. She does 3 hours each day. That's kind of key. Write a linear equation to represent the hours Yusan, and here's the key, has left after X days. So I'm going to let y equals number of hours left. X equals number of days. Okay, so the number of hours left to work is going to equal, well, it's going to start with 50, because that's how many she needs to work, or he. I don't even know if Yusan is a male or female name. And then each day she loses 3 hours. She does 3, so it's minus 3x. That is your equation. All right? And that would be the choice you make, or that would be the equation you write. Now, it says here, for the graph of the equation you wrote in item 3, what does the y-intercept represent? Well, let's look at this. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. X is the number of days, right? So they're saying, what's the value of Y when you haven't worked any days? Well, isn't that the hours completed, total hours of service you need? In other words, it's going to be choice B. Because when X is 0, that means you still have 50 hours to serve. Now, what's the equation of the vertical line? Vertical line goes straight up and down. That's vertical. Notice, it has to pass through 5, -7. So if you think of an axis, 5 would be somewhere over here. -7 would be somewhere over here. The point it should go through is right there. Well, a vertical line goes straight up and down, right there. And notice, if it goes straight up and down, it only crosses the x-axis. So it's x equals 5, because if this point is 5, comma, -7, that means right here is 5. So there you go. If it said horizontal line, that's a line that goes left to right. It's flat, like that. Notice, for that to happen, and going through 5, -7, it would be down here. Notice it doesn't cross the x, so there's no x in the equation, and it's going to be y equals -7. Okay, there you go. Now, what is an equation in slope-intercept form of the line shown in the graph? Well, you can see right here that the y-intercept equals 8. You can also, I don't even know if this is going to work. It's not working. So we can also see that it passes through that point. So we go down 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1. So the slope is down 3, right 1. So the slope is -3. You have the y-intercept, you can write the equation. Y equals -3x plus 8. And that's how you do it, all right? Here, right, what is an equation in point slope form? Notice it's point slope. Okay. Of the line that passes through the point, 4, -1, it has a slope of 2. So we know m equals 2, and we have x equals 4, y equals -1. So remember, point slope form is simply y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Should have said x1, y1, because that's the values of the point. So it'll be y minus y1, so it's y minus a -1 equals 2, parentheses, x minus 4. And that's point slope form. You could also rewrite this as y plus 1, because minus a negative, right? It's a plus. And that's 2x minus 4. All right? What is an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through these 2 points? First step, you got to find slope. Change in y, 9 minus 1, over change in x. Oops, sorry. Okay, so that's -3 minus -7. So 9 minus 1 is 8. -3 minus a -7 is -3 plus 7, which is 4. 8 over 4 equals 2. Okay, so we got the slope. Now we use, all right, you take care. We use, sorry, that was Mr. Mahmood saying goodbye. Point slope form is this. Slope, I'm sorry. See, he distracted me. they want slope-intercept form. So it's up to you to choose which point you want, but we know the slope, y equals 2x plus b. I'm going to go ahead and use negative 3, 9. Oh, actually, negative 7, 1. Okay? So y is 1, 2 times negative 7 plus b. That's 1 equals negative 14 plus b equals 15. So we get for this one, y equals 2x plus 15. Okay? Now, on number 9 is say, what is the graph of 4x plus 3y equals 12? What I would do is make a table. This is the cover method. Okay? You are free to choose any values of x and y. So I'm going to be smart about choose 0 for x and 0 for y, and that'll give us 2 points. So when x is 0, that leaves us with 3y equals negative 12. Y would be negative 4. When y is 0, you got 4x equals negative 12. Y equals negative 3. Okay? So I'm going to draw my axes. Okay, there's my y. Here, I would use a ruler for this. Matter of fact, I do have a ruler right there. All right. Now, this is y, that's x. 0, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is right there. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 0 is right there. Then I would use my straight edge, which is right there. And, oh God, be nice if I could connect them. And you get that line. All right. Now, they say write the equation in standard form of the line that has a slope of negative 4 and y-intercept of 10. So I'm just going to put it into slope-intercept form. Standard form is like this. ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are not fractions. No fractions. Okay. So basically for this problem, there is no fraction. So all we got to do is make sure x and y get to the same side. So I'm just going to add 4x to both sides. And you have that. Okay. Now, what is the equation standard form of this? This one's a little bit uglier because now we do have a fraction. Okay. So we have to get rid of this fraction right there, that 3. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that 3 right here by multiplying both sides of the equation by 3. So we end up with 3y equals, now let's see, 3 times 2/3, the 3's divide out, that leaves you with 2x. And then 3 times negative 1 is minus 3. I distributed the 3 into both terms on the right. Now the last step is to subtract 2x. Subtract 2x, we get negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 3. And this is the equation in standard form. Now, there's a couple ways you could have written this. You could also, if you had multiplied everything by negative 1, flipped all the signs, it's the same thing as saying this. Okay, both of them give you the same y-intercept of negative 1, right? And they both give you the same x-intercept of 3/2, 3/2. So either of these would work. This works and so does that. So just be aware there's more than one way to skin a cat because I've done them all. On this problem, all they care about is what's the x and y intercepts. Okay, so what we do is, the easiest way is to make a table. Sorry, my voice is gone. x, y. We're going to let x equal 0, solve for y. This is the y-intercept when x is 0. This is the x-intercept when y is 0. So when x is 0, notice I'm just covering up the x. We have negative 9y equals negative 63. When you divide by negative 9, don't we get 7? Then, when we look for the x-intercept, we let y equal 0, which means I covered that up. We have 7x equals negative 63. This is negative 8, I believe, right? No, negative 9, Mr. Eggleston. Pull your banunu out. So the x-intercept is negative 9 and the y-intercept is 7. So notice you can write it like this. That's the y-int. And you can write this as negative 9 comma 0, and that's the x-int. Okay? Those are the answers. All right. Now 13. Derek has $20 to spend on used books. Hardcover books cost $4 each. Paperback books cost $1 each. Write the equation stand. This is really easy because how much does each hardcover book cost? $4. So what I'm going to say is let x equal number of hard-covered books. And y equals number of paperback books. Okay. So, think about this. If we bought one hardcover book, according to $4 each, you spend $4. If you bought two, you would spend $8. So the money you spend for hardcover would be 4x. Now, each paperback was $1, so you can write 1y, right? If you bought one paperback, it's $1. Two paperbacks, it's $2. The total amount of money to spend was $20. So that's all the possible combinations. So that's the equation. So if you bought two hardcover, which would be $8, that means you have 12 left for these paperbacks, and you can get 12 paperbacks. Let's say that again. Two hardcovers gives us 8, right? And that leaves us with $12 more to spend. Since each paperback is $1, it's going to be 12 paperbacks. So you could say 2 and 12. You can buy 2 hardbacks and 12 paperbacks. Now, for the situation number 14, which really was number 13, sorry about that, I didn't catch that. For the situation in 13, sorry, that was supposed to be, that is 14, but that's 13. Find one combination of types of books that represents a possible combination of books that Derek can buy. So I just did one up here. It's two hardback and 12 paperback. Or the ordered pair 2, 12. That's one. Is there more than one? Well, sure. We could have bought no hardcover books, and that would leave us with 20 paperbacks. There's another solution. Or, likewise, we could have bought no paperbacks, and we could buy 4x equals 25 hardback. So all of these are possible solutions. So yes, more than one. Okay. Number 15. What is the slope of the line that is parallel to this equation? Okay. Parallel means the slope of a line parallel equals the slope of the original line. So they have the same slope. So the trick to this is all you got to do is find the slope of this equation here. Lots of ways to do it, all right? One way is to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 10x, and we get 5y equals negative 10x plus 7. Divide by 5. And that gives you y equals negative 2x plus 7/5. We don't really care about the y-intercept, but from looking at this, you know the slope is going to be negative 2. So m equals negative 2. So the m parallel equals negative 2 because parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, they say write the equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through this point, 3, negative 1, and is parallel to the graph. Well, parallel again, m parallel equals m, and this m is negative 2. So we can write y equals negative 2x plus b. Now use the point, 3 comma negative 1. Okay? I'm trying to show you where these. So now we have negative 1 equals negative 2 times x, 3 plus, plus b. So solving this, you get, I want that to be that. Okay, there we go. Negative 6 plus b equals negative 1. Add 6, you get b equals 5. So the equation of a line that's parallel to this, remember, this is the line that has to be parallel to, is going to be negative 2x plus 5. Okay? Now, make sure plug 3 in. Negative 2 times 3, I'm plugging this into here. So that gives me negative 6 plus 5. Does that equal negative 1, which is the y value? And it does. So that is the solution. That is the equation of a line that has a slope of negative 2 and passes through 3, negative 1. What is the y-intercept of the line? Right here. The easiest way to do this, I even give you the hint here, is to rewrite this in slope-intercept form. So y plus 11 distributed into negative 2, right? Do the rainbow. Minus 2. Now drop opposites. Subtract 11. Subtract 11. You get y equals negative 2x minus, 13. So when in slope-intercept form, what is the y-intercept? Y-intercept equals negative 13. All right. There you go. Now, the last question on your test, I think, right? Yes. Is the last things we're talking about, the arithmetic sequences. So the first question, is this sequence of numbers, is it arithmetic? Well, how do you tell? Well, to go from negative 15 to negative 10, don't we add 5? And to go from negative 10 to negative 5, don't we again add 5? Each time, aren't we adding 5? We're adding the same number, so yes, it's arithmetic. What's the common difference? Well, the common difference is 5, because that's what we add. The recursive formula would be something like a sub 1 equals the first term, which is negative 15. And then a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 5. And here's n is greater than 1. All right? It can't be 1 because if you put 1 in, you say a sub 1 equals a sub 0, but we aren't given a sub 0. We're given a sub 1. So n has to be greater than 1. Or you could likewise have said n is greater than or equal to 2 because then you could plug 2 in. The explicit formula, a as a function of n equals, this is just an equation of a line. Think of this as y equals mx plus b, only we're using a and n. So A equals M times N plus B is what we're going for. All right, so the slope of the explicit formula is just the common difference. If you look at this, aren't we adding 5 each time the counter goes up by 1? So the slope, the M, is 5 over 1, which is 5, which is just the common difference. All right, so we have A sub n equals 5n plus B. Now we know A of 1 equals negative 15. So we can solve this equation. Negative 15 equals 5 times 1 plus B. B equals, if we subtract 5 from both sides, is negative 20 because I subtracted 5 from both sides. All right, so the explicit formula would be A equals 5n minus 20. Now we can check. Is the first term negative 15? Put in n equals 1. 5 minus 20 is negative 15. Is the second term? Put in n equals 2. That would be 5 times 2 is 10 minus 20 is negative 10. That works there. So this seems to work. So this is the equation. You could also have said y equals 5n minus 20, but I used A. So now that we have the explicit, can we find the 65th term? Yeah, all that means is let n equal 65. So A evaluated at 65 is simply 5 times 65 plus, minus 20. Well, I'm not the smartest, so I'm going to go ahead and figure this out. So 5 times 65. 5 times 65 is 325. Minus 20 is 305. So the 65th term. So you could also run this as A sub 65 is 305. Notice what's nice about doing it this way with the explicit formula. So this is 305. There's the explicit formula. There's the 65th term. And that's pretty much how you do this. So I hope this recorded my audio so you can hear it. So you have a good evening and goodbye. Bye-bye.